let's address these. They're not even rumors. We'll just say that some folks online are talking. People are talking about Blake Snell, the latest in the Blake Snell free agency situation. Scott Boras saying that his client is open to the short-term deal with the high average annual value, a la Cody Bellinger. You wonder if that's going to be like $30 million a year, $35 million a year. We remember, Trevor Bauer's short deal was still valued at like $32-34 million a year, whatever it was. So it's still pretty high money for somebody like Blake Snell, but to be able to get him on your team, that's either any way you cut it, that is a boost to your organization. This is the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner. So we're seeing some people saying like, hey, if this guy wants to join a team or is open to joining a team on a short-term deal, why would the Dodgers not jump on that? So let's talk a little bit about the situation. Do the Dodgers need him? Well, you always need pitching. Every team needs pitching. It feels like there's always pitching concerns, but if there were real pitching concerns about, like, let's say Walker Buehler, which we just kind of dispelled earlier, or even like Clayton Kershaw, which we won't really know, I think signing somebody like Blake Snell would be much more of a top priority for the Dodgers at this point. Of course, Cody Bellinger signed the 3-year deal. It's really a 1-year deal with a 2-year option, kind of, and each year has its own little opt-out. So that's might be something like what they're looking like for Snell. Don't know the exact numbers. I saw somebody, might have been John Heyman, throwing around a figure of like $28 million a year, or no, that's what he rejected. So the Yankees offered $28 million a year for 6 years, did reject that one. So if he's rejecting 28, and I think the Yankees still have that on the table, if he's rejecting that much, again, he's going to want more. We're looking at like $35 million a year. So do the Dodgers need him? You always need pitching. Need is a strong word. You have some good starting pitching options. You have a pretty full starting rotation. But again, anytime you could add the reigning NL Cy Young Award winner, you probably want to do that. So need him? No. Nice to have? Hell yeah. That would be a marked improvement in the starting rotation. And you have him immediately either as your ace or your, ace 1B behind Yamamoto, however you fill it out. It adds another left-hander to the starting rotation, which is something, it's still kind of a concern. I don't know if it's a concern. You just want guys that can get outs, but you also don't want an all right-handed starting rotation if you have your P's and Q's about it. So it would be, it would make the starting rotation that much better. I think I saw a comment in here earlier saying, you'd have like an almost 8-man rotation. And I don't have a problem with that. You also don't really know what you're going to get out of some of these guys. You don't know what you're going to get out of James Paxton in the long run or how healthy he's going to stay. To have like 3 dudes for sure at the top of your rotation, 4 if you want to count Bobby Miller. But if you're going to have like 3 or 4 guys at the top of the rotation that are going to be there for like from day one, Snell could be one of those guys. And then you have your 5th and 6th guy. Just kind of figure it out, They're going to get their innings. They're going to buy innings for people like Snell, for like Yamamoto, who's coming to the States for the first time, for Tyler Glasnow, who he pitched a career high 120 innings last year, 121. So it's not a rotation that's perfect by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Can be very good. Snell would make it so much better. Would the move be bad? I mean, outside of the fact that you're adding the guy that, I guess you're bringing in Austin Barnes' son for one. That's always a nice one. We'll give myself a coin for that one because it's very cheap humor. You're doing that, but you're also bringing in a guy who was on the Padres, and as I've said a few times, he's kind of got that Padres taint to him, and that's something I'm not the biggest fan of, but of course I like winning more than I like just not having a guy in the clubhouse because of where he worked before. So would the move be bad in a bubble? No, it's not bad. There's more so reasons why the team isn't exceptionally likely to sign Blake Snell. There's really 2 reasons. Yeah, the money. It's a big luxury tax luxury tax hit right now. The Dodgers are at, I think it's just under 300 million or something like that. I forgot. I should have pulled up Spotrac, but I did not. But they have a lot of money committed to some people this year. A lot of money being spent on the injured list, being spent in deferrals for other players and things like that. I think Justin Turner's still getting paid by the Dodgers this year. But anyway, the luxury tax hit would be a big reason why the Dodgers would be hesitant to sign him. And he comes with a draft pick compensation, a draft pick hit. And I think it would be 2 for the Dodgers if they happen to sign him. And that's one of the things apparently Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic did mention in an article recently. He said one of the bigger hangups in Snell's market is some of the clubs don't want to deal with that, especially if you're doing the what I'm looking for, draft pick compensation hit, especially if you are going to get him for just 1 year guaranteed. Even if he signs like Cody Bellinger's deal, it's not a 3-year deal. It's a 1-year deal. It's a 1-year deal that makes Scott Boras feel a little bit better. That's all it is. And that's what they're trying to do with Snell. It'll be a 2 or 3-year deal. Really, it's a 1-year deal with some options if he happens to get hit by a car or something like that. Okay, maybe that's a little overdone, but still. Those are the 2 reasons. Those are the 2 main reasons I don't think the Dodgers would go after him. It's a luxury tax thing, and it's a draft pick thing, and it's not a pressing need. It's a glaring nice to have for sure. But anyways, I want to know what some folks think here in the chat. Hector X saying, forget Snell, give us Roki Sasaki next year. Hey, next year you're also going to get Shohei Ohtani, so you're in a good spot there. And yeah, signing a 1-year deal for Blake Snell, or what would essentially be a 1-year deal, you're making it that much better, that much your chances of winning a World Series this year are that much improved. But then all of a sudden you got a lot of guys. I see One Eye Dragon saying Paxton seems good to go. You still have Paxton in there, and Paxton would be your number 7 dude if and when Walker and Kershaw do end up healthy. Mr. Classic though says, nope, we need to win now, and this would be a win now move. So you do also continue that push into, hey, you know what? They're tired. This is an organization that is tired of losing. That's tired of being embarrassed in the first round. And One Eye Dragon, another good comment here, on fire right now. And there are no bad 1-year deals for sure. And it would, even if you are signing for 3 years, it's a 1-year deal for sure. Do I want to see it? I guess I didn't answer that question. I really don't know. Just because of, I think, if anything, I want to see what this club can do before you add more, but that's not the situation the team finds itself in. So it's tough. It's kind of tough to say. If I'm being smart, of course I want to see it. You want to see the best players come to your team, but tired of losing. Well said, One Eye Dragon. Just tired of losing. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Would I love to? Would I want to see it? Fuck it. Let's do it. More comments. Let's go. 275 Vet says, we will win when we win. You can't buy a championship. Win now. The win now move was Astros signing Hader. That's kind of a win now move for sure. To counterpoint that a little bit, we've seen one team sort of be the pay to win, and that was last year's World Series champions, the Texas Rangers. But even so, they also made some really good moves at the trade deadline and all that to put that team together. They spent a lot up the middle with Semien and Seager, but it also took them a year before they did that. And if there are glaring needs on this team's roster right now, it's a lefty reliever. We know this. We're talking about the Dodgers. A lefty reliever. It's a backup catcher, and then there's just moving the stack down in the starting rotation, which Blake Snell would 100% make better. Let's get some more comments. DKM asking just a question: how many starters do we have? So healthy right now is a different story, but you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you got Tyler Glasnow, you got Bobby Miller, James Paxton, and Emmett Sheehan. Well, Emmett Sheehan's kind of out on that. Eventually, you hope, you figure, you expect to add Walker Buehler, you expect to add Clayton Kershaw, Ryan Yarbrough is in the mix, and then you got the Gavin Stones, you got the Michael Groves. Grove, not really an option. He's going to be a starter. And then it's the other guys that are kind of the unknowns, the Landon Knacks, the Kyle Hurt. Kyle Hurt most likely going to be a reliever in his career. So now that we say that, man, Blake Snell sounds like it would fit real nice in that rotation. But then you get to a point with Buehler and Kershaw, if they're healthy, how does this rotation shake out? Competition makes it so much better. It makes your club, it makes sports teams so much better. But, at some point you can have too much talent, and then you could run into problems with grumpy folks in the clubhouse or whatever it may be. Just getting yourself some clubhouse turmoil, unnecessary problems in the clubhouse and the organization there. So I'm going to look at it from the worst case scenario always and try to talk myself into the positive scenario where, again, the reality is for sure this dude, Blake Snell, makes your organization so much better in theory, but you also got a lot of dudes already in there that need their opportunities. But what happens if Bobby Miller flames out in year 2? What happens if James Paxton only is able to throw like 28 innings? Then all of a sudden you get to that situation, what was it, like the 2013, I think it was, Dodgers that had Kazmir and Capuano and Brandon McCarthy, and they all just kind of died. So if it's just money, I don't think the Dodgers are at that double tax threshold yet. Talking about Snell a lot more. Now I guess we're just trying to talk me into it as if I have power. I mean, I can call Andrew right now. I might be busy, but I'll tell him, hey, just go get it done. And he'll be like, why are you calling me? But I think talking through the starters really has a good question there from DKM, the real Clint Black, asking how many starters and looking through it. It can get a little nerve-wracking because you are hoping for Buehler to be back and all the way back, and you're hoping for Clayton Kershaw to come back in August and be all the way back. Let's get some more comments here. Going back a little bit here. Abstract says, we don't need Snell. Man, if Glasnow gets hurt, we're screwed. Okay, guys talking into it more. I get it. Life Journey says, if there's too much talent, then trade Snell at the deadline. Or you could trade James Paxton, trade Emmett Sheehan, fill other roles that you have available. But I think we're all maybe kind of talking ourselves into Blake Snell here. I don't know. This is a little nerve-wracking, guys. I feel like we're the ones in control of this. Sarah Morris is agreeing now. Now I think we need Snell. Well, Blake Snell, come on down. You are a Los Angeles Dodgers. Maybe he'll sign in the last minute. I don't think it happens, though. I think there's too many arms this team wants to try. But then again, if you can get him on a 1-year deal, that would be nice.